Hello and welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. This is the iGold Advisor channel. Let us have a silver breakout alert. It is very important to observe what has happened here in silver over the last few weeks, and we will look at it with the most clear way possible, which is to study the charts. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be notified when these videos come out on YouTube. If you have a moment to give it a thumbs up, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you for that. Last but not least, make sure to follow our free X or Twitter feed at iGlobalGold. As you can see, certain weeks I don't have a chance to post here on YouTube, but I typically post free updates during the middle of the week on that Twitter X feed. All right, let's get into this update, our legal disclaimer. Now, the point that I want to make first, before we look at the silver chart itself, is to understand this. When we look back at the history this year of silver related to gold, and then we look at the gold miners, in this case we're looking at the GDX, this is the Senior Gold Miners Fund, notice how both silver and the gold miners, functionally speaking, trade in lockstep with one another. Yes, certain weeks there are slight differences between one and the other, but look at the finishing performance here for this year between silver and the gold miners, basically within a few percentage points of one another. And notice how both of these are nearly double the price of gold itself. So what we can say as a net sum is that both silver and the gold miners act as leveraged forms of gold itself. On the way higher, they move nearly twice as much, at least for this year, as gold itself. Of course, we know on the way lower, they will also move more than gold itself. So this is the important point. Both silver and the gold miners act as leveraged forms of gold. Okay, now let's look at what is happening right here with the gold miners. We're looking at the GDX Senior Gold Miners Fund. This is important to understand because both the gold miners and silver, we just saw, trade, functionally speaking, as the same thing. So we better believe what happens to the gold miners is going to be important to what happens for silver. Notice that the gold miners right now are attempting to break higher from a 14-year downtrend. Notice this with me going all the way back from the peak in 2011, peak in 2020, peak in 2022, one peak here just a few months ago, and now this attempt to break out. This is a 14-year downtrend that the miners are attempting to break upward from. This would be absolutely huge. Because remember, this is not going to happen in a vacuum. We just looked at how the gold miners are moving in lockstep with silver, and both of them are moving nearly twice as much as gold itself. So you got to believe if the gold miners are going to break higher here, then silver and gold itself are going to break higher as well. Okay. Very important what is happening here with the gold miners. Now, however, let's switch over and look at what is happening with silver. Here is the silver chart. And notice that we were looking at this very clear horizontal resistance level, this 4-year resistance at the $30 mark, plus or minus a few cents, but very clear to notice this peak in here, 2020, this peak in early 21, this peak just a few months ago. And so notice what has happened to silver here over the last 2 months. It attempted to break out, but then what? It failed. And this is not hypothetical. I mean, we can look at this. We can see that this is a very clear 4-year resistance, and it made 2 distinct attempts to break out, and then basically the last 3 weeks had like a mini collapse, from 32 down to 28, 27 and change. So something is going on here. We just looked at how the GDX is attempting to break higher from a 14-year downtrend but silver has just failed here to break higher. But both of those act as leveraged forms of gold. So let's give the takeaways. We just said this. Both silver and the gold miners act as leveraged forms of gold. That's not debatable. The miners are attempting to break this 14-year downtrend, but meanwhile, silver has failed to break its resistance at 30. So what the heck is going on here? One of these assets is correct and the other is incorrect. I'm talking about silver and the gold miners. One is correct and one is incorrect right now. They are not going to diverge for very long in the way that they have here over the last few weeks. If those gold miners are correct in that breakout, this implies that silver is about to surge strongly higher in a legitimate breakout for real this time. That is what is going to happen if those miners are correct. However, if silver is the correct one right now, it implies that the miners are about to fail and decline strongly. Not only that, but it would mean, of course, silver is going to keep declining, and then gold would be expected to decline because you're not going to have the gold miners declining without gold itself declining. So we're at this point of divergence right now where one of these assets, either silver or the gold miners, is correct and one is incorrect. And this is hugely important if you are invested in either silver, the gold miners, or gold itself, to see which is going to be correct and which is incorrect. And I will tell you the truth, at this exact moment in time, I don't know which one is going to be correct. I don't know which is going to be incorrect. My philosophy is to let the market show me, let the charts show me. And I suspect that this is going to be decided here within the next several weeks. And this is going to be hugely important for how this sector finishes not only the rest of 2024, but how this sector finishes 2025 and perhaps even into 2026, depending on which of these breakouts is correct and which one is incorrect. So I'm going to be letting the market show me over the next few weeks. And then if the gold miners are correct, I'm going to be backing up the truck on everything related to silver. However, if silver is correct and everything is about to come down and follow silver, then we are going to be taking defensive action, including selling some of our positions and opening defensive positions as well. It is hugely important to follow which of these markets is correct and which is incorrect, silver or the gold miners. I want to let you know our premium subscribers in Precious Metals Intelligence Plus are going to be the first to learn which signal is correct and which is incorrect. They will receive a flash update as soon as we see one of these signals confirmed. So if you would like to join us in being the first to learn which of these signals is going to be correct, make sure to sign up for Precious Metals Intelligence Plus today. You receive, as I said, flash updates direct to your email inbox, as well as subscriber-only videos, just like you've seen, but not once every several weeks. Every single week, 50 weeks out of the year, you receive comprehensive updates much longer than what you've seen today. We also feature expanded coverage of Bitcoin, the stock market, currencies, other commodities, and the exact open market investments that we are making here in everything related to gold, silver, and the mining sector. As I said, our premium subscribers will learn about this signal first, and then we will be taking appropriate action. If you are a higher net worth investor, you have to understand the power of investing in private placements. We invest in similar companies that we are buying here in Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. However, you receive even more upside, even more leverage when you invest with us in these private placements because you receive free warrants in addition to every investment that you make when you go with the private placements. And the warrants are the way that these companies reward you for helping them out. Remember, you also receive a free subscription to Precious Metals Intelligence Plus when you join us in the Elite Private Placements service. If you would like to speak one-on-one with myself, you can book a consultation, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or email consultation at your convenience on the tab on our websites. You can find the link to that below. We sit down just like we're doing here today, except as opposed to you watching a 15-minute video, I take notes and we discuss one-on-one your situation, because it's hugely different if you're a 25-year-old recent graduate or new business owner and you have a few $1,000s saved up and you're looking to try to hit a home run, but you know even if that investment doesn't work out, you know you still have 30, 40, 50 years ahead of you to keep making other investments. Huge difference compared to if you're in your 60s or 70s and you're approaching retirement and you're looking at these signals in the precious metals and you're saying, well, my goodness, what if silver has just topped here? It just had a false breakout. We saw that on the chart. What if it leads the gold miners and gold lower over the next several years? This is something that a lot of people are not thinking about right now. I am independent, and if I think the markets are going to be moving lower, I have no problem in saying that to you. I just try to align with the right side of the market. So you can reach me on the consultations tab if you're in one of those situations or another situation. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle and you've got a lot of investments in this sector and it's been really volatile. I totally understand. If you would like my take on the individual gold and silver miners that you are investing in, know you can reach me on the consultations tab. Nice to be back with you today. Make sure to watch that divergence between silver and the gold miners, because they both act as leveraged forms of gold, and whichever one of those is correct is going to lead the entire rest of the sector, at least for the rest of 2024, quite likely into 2025.